a little earlier tonight when Andy Enfield mentioned that Bronny James, star freshman, son of LeBron James, is potentially going to be able to play this weekend. You see it there. It'll be determination of how he feels personally and how our doctors and trainers feel, but all indications are he feels great and he looks good. That is great to hear about him. There was real concern over whether he would play at all this college basketball season or maybe ever again. John, going to start with you here. This young man is coming into college basketball with the weight of the world in terms of expectations. What is fair to expect from him? You know, whether it's on Sunday or just as the season goes on. This is a sport that's dominated, by older players now, and he's going to be a freshman. What's a fair and reasonable expectation for him as he steps into action?
It's going to take some time for him to probably get back into rhythm, but the best thing about him which is why I think he'll actually come along a lot faster, is he makes his teammates better. I just love players like that. So guys that can make their teammates better, I love playing with. I love watching. His teammates probably love him. So I think he's going to fit seamlessly right into that lineup of those dynamic guards, because it's not a lot of pressure to score the ball. So he's probably going to come in and steady the troops and distribute the ball, make some plays. I love that for them. He's going to make them better, especially coming off the bench if that's what they're going to do with him. Most likely, he will make them a better team. And like I said, he makes everyone better. Man, I love watching him play. I love his game.
Matt, as a coach, right? I mean, you understand everything that's going to come with Bronny. Now, I mean, I think USC being in, Southern California.
It's a lot.
Yeah. So how do you coach that, knowing that it is going to be a transition when you're so young, and also you have to, factor in the health things as well. How do you coach that? Oh, by the way, like LeBron's up the street. So how do you handle that, as a coach with Bronny?
Yeah. Well, a couple things. One, LeBron, when you look at, let's just go back to his career, cover of Sports Illustrated magazine, expectations from the year when he was 14 years old about being one of the greatest. And LeBron has lived up to those expectations. And this is not a conversation of LeBron or MJ, LeBron or Kobe. This is about expectations. And LeBron has lived up to those expectations. He's never been in trouble. He's won championships. He's won MVPs. So when you look at Bronny, his dad's going to be able to help him with those expectations. Andy Enfield, it's a challenging place to be in. He's such a good player. He obviously went through the health issue, and you pray that Bronny's okay. Seems like if the family feels good about him playing, then he'll be out there and he'll be playing. If the doctors feel good and all that, and that's all you want to see. But it's a challenge just in terms of Andy Enfield too, because he's got a good team. And bringing Bronny on, kind of, inching him into the lineup, however that looks, however that works. But you also know if he's not out there and he's not out there for 20, 30 minutes a game, and maybe you're not having success, everyone's going to be like, what's going on? Why is Bronny not in the game? Because of the expectations that are on him. But because of what LeBron dealt with, because of his family and all those things, I think everyone being on the same page is really going to help Bronny, but I think it's a challenge. I think it's a challenge for Coach Enfield, especially if they're not if they're winning and he's playing 10 to 15 minutes, whatever it is, then that's a different story. But if for some reason they're not having success, that's going to be a challenge to deal with all of that. And that's, it's something that as a coach, he's going to have to manage. And Coach Enfield has had great success. He's had great success out there, but it's something that he's going to have to deal with.
John, what about like as a teammate, because he's coming in and, Boogie's been there for, years. I mean, you're talking about a group that's got real experience. So just in terms of his teammates, welcoming him in and sort of getting him acclimated, like what does that look like sort of, from a player's perspective?
It'll be interesting to see how he's integrated in and what, how he meshes with his teammates. But I think his teammates probably love him, man. Like I said, the style of his game, it's hard not to like him as a teammate. He's a pass-first guy. He can shoot the three. He's a team-first guy. So I think he's going to mesh well, and Coach Enfield definitely has some things to tweak out. And yes, this microscope is going to be on USC and what Bronny does and how much he plays. But you also have the number one pick in the draft in the backcourt. and you got LeBron's son in the backcourt along with a pretty decent team. So I think he's excited, man. I think he's happy. He's got a guard back that can lead them, and I think his teammates are gonna love playing with him. Like I said, I've watched a few games of his fully through, and yeah, he's a baller. He's a hooper. So I think he'll be good.
Matt, I don't know. I don't know how much of Bronny you've seen, Matt, but in terms of, again, I really feel like in this age of college basketball, it's just best by default to keep expectations really low because it is just an older sport by virtue of, COVID years and instant transfers and all those things.
No
but
question.
From what you've seen of him, what do you think he'll be able to bring, if he's going to get these major minutes early on, which I assume he will if he's playing?
Well, I agree with John just in terms he's unselfish. He's fun to watch. His teammates obviously are going to enjoy playing with him because he's not this guy that's just going to go out there and try to get a bucket. He's extremely athletic. He's going to be able to defend and switch and guard multiple positions. So from what I've seen, he's going to have an impact. But I think managing those expectations for him, especially because he's missed a lot of time, even though that he's able to play and healthy to play, and that's unbelievable. He's also missed a lot of time. And I think you've got to take that into factor too. He's missed practice time, he's missed games, and he's still a freshman. And John, you just mentioned it, like old guys out there, you got to manage those expectations for a freshman in college who's playing against guys in college that have been there for 4 or 5 years with all the COVID years and everything. So I think managing those expectations is big for Bronny. I think it's big for Bronny.